we like to present short and sweet, hot and heavy. Just hit it and quit it. It's a lot of very concentrated information. Well, concentrated, compact. We're just getting straight to the point. And the reason being because we pride ourselves in being on the so-called direct path of self-realization.
Yes, sir.
We're not stopping past gold, collecting $20. We're going straight to, fifth dimension, as we like to say it. We understand it just simply takes a lifestyle of commitment and discipline, to live that which we know.
Right.
To get us there. And my story is really no different than most people here, born in, incarnated, especially in North America. Grew up down south, Alabama.
Wow.
Went through all kinds of traumas, was raped, experienced racism, was bullied, had to give my money at school, mom was on drugs, so went through all kinds of traumas. And so we like, man, let's get out of there. I'm going to show them I'm somebody. And that was our motivation for actually leaving there. And we wanted to show them, we found out that we have our personality is like an extreme personality anyway. So we like to go hard.
Yeah.
So we wanted to show them that I'm somebody. We just went hard at conforming. We didn't know it. We just thought we was doing what was asked of us of the system. If I show you that, I'm just as good, I can do this, I can do that, or better than, I should have a shot. Things, yada, yada, yada. So you bust your butt, you do that, you go off, the whole nine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But at some point, it was like 72. We came in 72, so like 46 times around the sun now. So, but in like 1993, 91 and 93 is when it culminated. It was like, we want to get our life back right. Because growing up down south, we had to go to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
You didn't go to church, you couldn't go out during the week. Right? And so having to go to church on Sunday, there was something there that we intellectually knew. But we thought, okay, well, if I'm out here trying to make a shot, trying to show them I'm somebody, trying. And, and growing up being a man of God, a good Christian, was a part of that. So it was like, well, why not get back into the church? Because of our personality of extremism, we found out reading the Bible we didn't have to die. Enoch and Elijah were two prophets in the Bible that scripture says they just ascended. They didn't use the word ascended, but they just described how they didn't die. They just went off with God. And so in 93, we was like, God, because at the time God was on the outside. We don't want to die, and we were just committed to not dying. And it wasn't until, that was like in 93. It wasn't in 2001, after going through different religions and, like leaving Christianity out, man, y'all, finding the water down, finding complaints with it, just right. Searching, truth-seeking, going through religious organizations, the Israelites. Sarah said is really what, the Kemetic tradition is really what kind of gave us intellectual understanding on how not to die. Because it is shared with us through the science and religion of the Kemet, ancient Kemet. It just breaks down how, not just say ye are gods, but this is how ye are gods. This is how, if you're not operating as a god, these are the things that you could do to operate as a god.
Wow.
Meaning, in the simplest term, we have a will, we have life force. As a god, we neither one of those, but we use those like our right and our left hand, like the masculine and the feminine. So we use our will to impregnate the life force that says, will go put the seed in the life force and go forth and give birth. That's the way the God operates. Right? It comes down, we talk about the law of attraction, create your reality, things like this. Yeah. But in essence, we go straight to the point. Okay, we have a life force, we have a will. We call it the heart and the mind, respectively. The mental body and the emotional body. So he says, how could this mental body and this emotional body, tantra dance, work in harmony? So they kind of, put everything out there. So this is what we've been kind of looking at since officially, once we got the intellectual in 2001. In 2014, we put it all together. It was like, okay, we're not going to no more class, we ain't joining nobody because we have enough. And we created what we call the Breath of Life Training, B-O-L-T, or BOLT. BOLT, Breath of Life Meditation Initiation System. So what the boat meditation initiation system is a system that we created for Ascension based upon all our intellectual information from our studies and our experiences from, doing the yoga, Tai Chi, herbs, and all that stuff. There's principles and all, it all works to the degree that you work it. So what we said was, let's just, like Bruce Lee, let's get the principles of what we enjoy and put them together in a package for our Ascension. It's called the Breath of Life Training. And so in actuality, the breath mastery is just simply, in a nutshell, the breath in and of itself can be a powerful tool to do just that. We feel as though everything else really supports the breath. That's the direction we come as a metaphysician. We feel as though our lifestyle supports everything else, beginning with the breath. The breath is the beginning stage and makes everything else simplified after that. For us, that's how powerful that breath is. And that's what we call an initiation for Ascension made from that breath. Okay? Yeah. And so, with that being said, basically, this is a kind of line. We can go all over this breath here. Right. So we just want a handout also to keep, because like I say, a lot of times when the information is presented, they say repetition is the mother of learning. So we feel as though it's good to just have reminders. Right. Whether it's something you can read or something you can watch, every now and again, or even just call and say, hey, we talked about something, we talked about whatever it may be. We hear from this point on. We guide you. We feel as though it's a commitment. We are committed and dedicated to those who are on the direct path. You're on the indirect path. We just do what we can do when we can do it for you.
Indeed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, we love all, like I say, because we understand at one point we was not on the direct path. Whether we didn't know it or whether we were just, I'm saying, well, eat meat. It ain't gonna be all this, Ascension kind of stuff. It could be something simple as, if we know continually eating a lot of meat is not good for us. It's been shown that. Right. To the degree that I'm like either watching or cutting back, there's a degree that shows how much I love myself and at least want to do better. Right. But if I ain't making no concerted efforts, that means I'm the dead bury the dead. I always say that we love your peace, let the dead bury the dead. But if there's some kind of effort there, But the door is always open to everybody, because anytime there's a question, we'll answer the question, then based upon the response, and therefore we'll say, okay, do you want more based upon the work you've done? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel you.
Right. Right. And so we broke this sheet out again because we feel as though the breath is so important. And we just broke down some things here like release toxins from your bodies. When we say bodies, we're talking about more than just the physical body. Some people we haven't looked at it specifically in detail. We have heard that they're like detoxes you can do with the breath of certain exercise, and just naturally, just deep breathing, toxins come out. But we've heard that it's a breath detox. In fact, maybe we should Google it at some point just so we can look more up into that. It makes sense. If we've heard it, it makes sense. But even just nice deep breathing, we're releasing toxins out of the body, carbon dioxide, stagnant energy, things like that are just being released. If we understand the mechanism behind the breathing.
Yeah, right.
And one of the ways we express that is when you breathe into the nose and out through the mouth, you're more so releasing. When you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, you're more so holding up retention. And the difference would be is if you were like in healing or meditation or something, you would wish, in the time you wish to just build up your chi, build up your energy, just build it up, just, get that ball going or, whatever the case may be, just build it up, then maybe send it forth, whatever the case may be. But just to kind of like, just relax and detox and things like this, breathing out the mouth is a much better way to release and detox. So just a little thing that, there's a science to, if you want to retain and build up your chi, or just release and get rid of it. Again, the difference is that you breathe out through the nose. And what happens is, because a lot of times we're in a state of emotionalism throughout the day.
Right.
And if we're not mindful of how we're breathing, whether out the nose or out the mouth, most of us are breathing out in through the nose and out through the nose for the most part. It means, generally speaking, we're retaining some of the feelings that we are engaging. Even if it's just our own thoughts, it could be by itself. But if we get caught up in, sometimes people have told me, we haven't witnessed it as much lately, of course. We don't call it last time, but, people have said, sometimes I just stop breathing. I got to remind myself to breathe. They stop breathing. And again, that works for you or against you, just like everything. But there's no right and wrong. It's just whether you understand the principle so you can use it to advantage. If not, it will use you. But generally what happens is we relax, is we're not mindful of watching TV, the news, whatever it may be. We're subtly holding on to just little bits and pieces of this lower vibrating frequencies that we're engaged with. Versus the mindful breathing as we're engaged keeps us relaxed and also releases more of it back. So it's more of a pass-through. Because some of the things that comes with illness and disease, stiffness, is again comes back down to stagnant energy. Energy is not flowing. Just like the blood flow through our bodies from head to toe blood vessels. They can, the Western science, arteries, they can diagram, they show them all. But they haven't gotten much into the energy meridians that line the body. And so what happens is, just like the blood vessels from head to toe, all of our organs have a meridian, energy meridian that is like a vessel, but it's an energy vessel, and it goes at some point up the body, depending on where it is. Most of the kidneys, most of the yin is in the legs, but most of them go throughout the body. Then they end up in the chakra area where the chakras facilitate these things. And so again, what happens is through lack of exercise, movement, which works also the lymphatic system in the body. One of the key benefits of yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong is that you is stretching on certain positions to allow the inner chi to move a little more freely. And anytime you have like a lake or a body of water that's really not moving, that's when more mosquitoes, things just kind of gravitate. It's more yucky like.
Right.
Where if it's moving or creep, it seems more clear, more fresh. It seems more live versus dead and stagnant, right? It's the same concept with our bodies. Same concept with our bodies. So again, with proper breathing, even just some of this reminding yourself to breathe out through the mouth allows more flow and less stagnation. So again, it's helping to release more, detox more. Yeah, something simple as that. Yeah. Yeah, of course, grounding and centering, because it all kind of ties into that, grounding and centering. Connects your emotions and clears your mind. And of course, we've all experienced this from the simple standpoint of sometimes if something's going on and either we tell ourselves and someone says, just calm down, just take a deep breath, breathe. Take a deep breath, and 9 times out of 10, it changes something right then and right there. And so, if we understand this simple principle of the breath, if we practice this type of breathing, then the chances of us moving is going to be slim. We're going to find we're not being moved as much by anything because we just know that. If I'm moved, if I do this, then what happens if I just do it when I'm not moved? You begin to get an anchor, what I call an anchor. The ship drops an anchor so it don't move as much. Right? So we look at the breath as an anchor. Yeah. And again, remember I said it's one of the first things of health is because, again, we think about food. We can go without food for a while, fasting, 40-day fast, a weekdays fast.
Right.
Even dry fast, we can go without liquids for a certain amount of time. Right. But the breath, if you go a day without breathing,
You gone.
Right.
You out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like these very simple concepts that we just kept thinking about ourselves over and over with the breath. It says there's more to this breath. I mean, when we come out the womb, of course we're in the water, but then to take that first breath, that signifies the astrological chart for the most part. Because when your birth, boom, this is our theory, so-called smack on the ass, crying, yep, it's alive, mark the time. So and so 3 hours, whatever, and so that's when someone get a chart done. They say what city you was born, what state, what country you was born in, where you born in the world, and what was the hour, what time when you born. Because there's a 3-hour difference, 4 hours, between East Coast and West Coast time. Like the sunset over here is different, which means that everything, when it's 3 o'clock here, by the time it gets 3 o'clock there, whatever the constellations is doing something totally different. So people go on the same day, even at the same time, but if it's in 2 different spots, it's going to be, or if it's different times. So just another idea of how important what that breath is, that boom, it marks that boom, imprint from the cosmos. Right? So, and again, from that point on, we're pretty much always breathing. Always breathing. Sleeping, waking, it doesn't matter, we're always breathing. Always breathing. So again, that's what I say, if we're always breathing, there's a certain level of power in that breath. By simply taking time to focus on, spend a little bit of time of the day just to master this breath. It's like a butterfly effect that would change your world, change your life. Yeah. Because again, it's about that calm and relaxing. That's all we're saying, calm and relax, just by taking that breath. And the other thing is, we said connects to God. We like to call it the breath of life is a term that breath of life training. Breath of life training. The breath of life. Because another key aspect is that within the air that we breathe, because not all the air is oxygen. There's only a small percent that's oxygen. But within the air, there is oxygen. And the theory is within the oxygen is prana, it's chi. Oxygen is a carrier of prana, of chi. One of the reasons, the theory, I guess, why water is so beneficial as well. Between hydrogen, is hydrogen and oxygen. There's 2 gases. Hydrogen and oxygen make up water. They say hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. It's like somewhat 90, it's high. And they say oxygen is the carrier of the chi. That's saying together for the most part, depending upon the nature of the water will determine the caliber of life. The theory is without life, because that's what they're saying, if a planet don't have water, then the chances of having life is null and void. Right. And they say, oh, it had water, so it must have had some life at one point in time. Right. That's a theory. They talk about how powerful water is, which is 2 gases. So again, that oxygen, there's something to that oxygen. And the theory is, again, within the oxygen, that's why saying hydrogen is important, because the brain is made of water, system mainly water, we're mainly made of water. And between water and oxygen, because oxygen is in the water, we get that prana, that chi. So with the deep breathing, or conscious mindfully breathing, what we do is we actually allow ourselves to extract the chi with our lungs from the oxygen, which facilitates more of that connected feeling. That's why sometimes, whether people realize it or not, they start taking these deep breaths, depending upon their lifestyle, if they already kind of have a nice, laid-back kind of lifestyle, this breathing can become very euphoric, like they say, natural high, lightheaded. Some say it's lightheaded because you have too much oxygen going to the brain. I got a head rush. It's too much oxygen going to the brain. Well, it seems like if you didn't have enough, you kind of get dizzy. But too much is, my theory is that euphoric effect, where it's actually that light, it's just lightheadedness, because it's almost like you're in a trance. It's almost like you want to leave, in a sense. But this is our theory on it, of those lightheaded experiences, because we don't have those much anymore. But just nonetheless, from my experience of working with and doing conscious, certain breathing exercise, we do found a certain ecstasy, a certain joy, smile, that kind of a feeling that gives you that, that connected to God feeling. The same as like, being in a certain service, or, a certain moment of spiritual thing, and it just, the tears of joy is there. It's like a tears of joy kind of thing. We found out we really get out from the breath from this concept, in this context. I'm saying just understanding. And a lot of times, like I said, it's just the understanding just a little bit more, add just a little bit more sprinkle to the ingredients of what you're cooking. You know, like they say, the intention and attention plays a large part in that. Yeah, the intention and attention. So, like I said, this is our story of, where we come from. And like I said, we found out stuff about the breath. We was like, man, let's get on with this breath. Let's just, let's share all we can with this breath because it is so powerful from this point going forward. It's like, again, with the breath, still the thinking. Again, with our experiences, when we calm down, we can think a little clearer. We're not as moved as much. Those emotions are not as moved, that breath, okay. I feel a little centered. I feel a little more grounded now. Right? So again, these are just the things that we're sharing about the breath. So now we want to just understand. Now that we have a little more information, let's just choose how to breathe. Right? The reason why I say that because generally speaking, like we say, the end of the nose, out through the nose is one type of breathing. Mm-hmm. The end of the nose and out through the mouth is another type of breathing. There's a second type of breathing, well, two different more types. I guess it would be four types. The four seasons. Right. There's two that we're going to specifically just go over the mechanics of, and then we're going to do maybe about 10 minutes of meditation, using just general meditation, guided meditation. But the true breaths you want to be familiar with is called the one is called the breath of fire. Or we call it the breath of fire. It could be called either that or the fire breath, one of the two. It's a common name, breath of fire, fire breath. But we rather than more with the breath of fire because we use the breath of water. Fire breath, water breath. But nonetheless. But the theory behind the fire breath is just like the shallow breathing. Because shallow breathing is used as a tool. It's for fight or flight. It is to remove ourselves from any type of immediate danger. Car coming. Now that's something that you can, because if not, you so a lion coming up here, somebody, you know the rally going on. Oh, but what? You want to, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
If there's an immediate danger, there's this because it gets oxygen in and out the body real fast. You need it. You got to move. You got to do something. You got to it's an imminent danger, as they say, right now. 911, right now. Mm-hmm. Right. So that shallow breath is good. And so with the shallow breath breathing, it's like the other, like allopathic, man. Nonetheless, one of the medicines, like the vaccinations, where they give you a little bit of the thing that says you're going to be cured now, right? I think it's homeopathic, where they use a little bit of the thing and create something that says it actually heals you, right? So the fire breath is that same thing because we have found in a state of, man, that taking a deep breath, it helped, but it didn't help good enough, or you still find yourself like this, we would suggest the breath of fire. And the breath of fire, we like to explain like you're laughing. But it's more constant, it's more focused because it's shallow breathing. You're not doing the deep breathings, but you're more so. The slow analogy is, or the slow example is you don't take a full breath. It's like, about midway what's comfortable, where you naturally, just kind of thing, and just blow it out your nose, and then allow it to fill up back to that same spot. And that's the concept, but it's more rapid. You can get as fast if you wish. Then release about 4 out the breath, 4 breath out the body. Then 2 or 3 breaths. Very deep breaths, kind of recenter. And again, this breath of fire is what we use to kind of, for the high anxiety, just to It's almost like I've seen bodybuilders, or you know. I can imagine. I've come across that kind of thing before, but yeah. So again, powerful is if understanding the techniques behind it says, oh, we can use this as a nice tool. Now the breath of water, the water breath, water, is the breath. Master Aaron had shared this a few years ago with us, which found this very useful. The idea is, take the tip of your tongue, touch, you want to take it and curve it back, almost like if this is, you know, you want to, like a hook. All right. And the concept here, it just opens up your throat. So as you breathe in, even making the sound of like, you know, that you want to, that hawk, that hawk spit, is almost like that because you're opening up by moving, getting the tongue out the way. Then blowing out is the exact opposite. You curve the tongue down and like you're bogging up a mirror. Call it the breath of water because it's like going to the ocean, baby. We're just sitting there and just clarity that comes.
Wow. Yeah, I'm speechless right now, you know. Wow. Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
But just air.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot. It's just air. It's just air.
Yeah. But the discussion is a lot to take in.
Right. We know that's on recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just a lifestyle. It's simple. Practice makes perfect. You know, begin when you are. You know, so with that breath of water, just. But those are the two extreme breaths. You know, but generally speaking, just the relaxing breath is the breath that got us really started. The relaxing breath is what the breath of life bold meditation came from. What happened was in 2013, we was a student teacher at this metaphysical school up in Northwest called the Institute for Sacred Evolution, and we was to lead meditation at 12 noon every day. When we first got there, I mean, it wasn't going on, so we like volunteers, like, I mean, we meditated in the past, you know, it was nothing for us to do the meditation. And so what happened, there was one person that was coming on a regular basis, and we was like, okay, cool, well, what came for us is that, what's the goal, where we're going with this, because just, you know, and hence what the breath of life training came into. I mean, basically what it shares with by understanding the breath. Again, this is why we say that breath is like the first and foremost thing in healing, because when it calms you down, you can know which moves to make. You can decide whether or not this food, if it's food, is good for right now, or I can make better choices because the mind is calm, the emotions are not there. So when you begin using the breath to slow down, just to slow down, it sets up. That's why I say it sets up everything else. To say, okay, well, now that I'm relaxed, what's best for me? What's best for me today? What is it that we want to do today? And get the voice from the inside. So much so, with practicing, we would practice asking a question on the in-breath. They ask a question. Allow, because you're extracting the chi from the oxygen. And as you release, wait for the answer. Maybe do this a few times and see what happens. The question you've been pondering, just Make sure to focus on the breath. Ask a question. Pull in the chi. Assimilate. So this breath is so magical. There's many ways to use it. Many ways to use it. So, any questions?
I'm just trying to take it in right now.
Maybe we should ask some questions as we was going along. Maybe that's
digest it, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is that's the outline. So because the idea is, like I said, we was doing this like for a couple of years, like every day, 12 o'clock, and the relaxing breath. Ideally is we want to just breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, you want to be mindful that your stomach is moving more than your chest. You know, this is more the diaphragm, meditative pot belly breathing, baby breathing, you know. And one of the things we do is you put your hand on your chest, put your other hand on your stomach as you breathe in. Just notice if your chest moves more, your stomach moves more. You know, whichever one moves more, just being mindful of that. And as you're mindful of it, the goal is, in order to get the results of, like I say, recentering, regrounding, you know, is encouraging to be sure that there's more coming. The stomach is expanding more than the chest is. Because again, the theory behind that is when you breathe, like so-called diaphragmatic breathing, your diaphragm, they say, is located just below the rib cage. So as you breathe, as your stomach expands out, your diaphragm comes down because it's all attached in it. Your stomach comes out, the diaphragm goes down, which means the lungs can take in more air now. And as you breathe out, stomach goes in, pushes the diaphragm up, pushes the air, most of it, you know, back out the lungs. And also as the stomach is expanding, it's giving some internal massage to the organs also. It's not much, it's very slight, unless you choose to do a meditation or exercise where you like when you breathe out, you push your stomach out and you feel the tension. Like you really, how far do I push it out? And you feel the muscles. It's just, we do this sometimes, you growing up and stuff. And then when you blow it out, you see, how far can I push my stomach back, you know, to just no have no stomach, just a spine. And to the degree that you actively engage more, you know, consciously with it, you're also massaging the organs more. And because you're mindful of it, energy's going there also, so there's healing that takes place. It all takes place, they say, where the mind goes, energy goes, and energy goes, healing goes. So by the breath, allow you to become more mindful. Then by bringing your mind to certain areas of the body, you don't have to be an athlete, it could be just anywhere. You can be sitting down, relaxing, and says, you know what? Whatever part of your body in that relaxed state that your mind goes to, that you can see your vision or mess with, you begin to facilitate healing. Now that's one of the reasons why, again, just with the breathing, it can facilitate just spontaneous self-healing. Because as you relax, it's relaxed. Now let me just relax here. Sometimes you start, you know, just feeling you, saying, oh, something's going on here. You know, you start to just notice like little sort of things about your body. You just start touching and moving it. Again, being mindful as you move, just consciously breathing in and out of the mouth as you do like simple stuff. Again, facilitates more and more just healing. Yeah, just as it, just like that. Mm-hmm.
All right now.
Let's breathe. You want to do some breathing?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Ready to release tension and.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So first, there's
Oh, hold on. Sorry to cut you off,
yeah.
but yeah. So I was trying to do meditation myself, but it's like my mind, like I'm so scatterbrained,
okay.
and it's like really hard for me to focus.
Okay.
I think I low key got ADHD, but yeah, like my mind, for some reason, it's like it's hard for it to settle down.
Okay.
So that's why I sought you out And actually, Dr. Yu, he was the first one that told me about you.
Okay.
And this is before we ever met.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I was just like, you know, I was gonna try it myself, and
Right.
I tried it before, like numerous times before, but I don't know. It's just like I couldn't get in that state, you know, that mind state when you're kind of like in a trance.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: if you're not used to it, it may be challenging at first. You know, as you're used to, you know, having used to thinking a whole lot.
Right.
It may be very challenging at first. So that's with everyone. You know, anytime you know, a new adventure, you know, roller skating. I can walk, but you know, it's just it's just riding a bike. You know, you feel like I'm looking at it. You know, oh man, but can't nobody see your thoughts. Why can't I keep this thought? Why can't you know?
Right.
It's the same concept. So we suggest just be patient with yourself first of all. You know, because it's just a part of the game. It's a part of reprogramming, a part of saying, you know what, I'm gonna stop doing this and start doing this. It can be whatever, just eating a certain thing or calling them. Why do I keep calling this chick? Or why I keep calling? You know, why I keep setting myself up with the same thing I know is gonna happen? Why I need to stop doing that? That's the action, but it's a result of the thinking also, because they go hand in hand. You know, our experience is a result of, you know, what comes from the inside. So whatever we think about, we want to get. And if our life is not flowing in one direction, whether it's a direction of slowly think or slowly degrade, if it's always very, you know, oh man, yes, and oh, what the, those extremes, that shows where the mind is also. Because the degree that the mind at least is able to maintain the train of thought, whether it's beneficial or not, as long as it maintains a thought, it will attract. That's the law of attraction in a nutshell, right? And so what happens is we find that because of the way society is, there's so many distractions. So it's almost like we're trained to be like a fruit tart. I always think about this, multitask the brain, you know, that what about this, what about this, what about this? We're kind of trained to send this energy out always like this. So when it's time to say, man, let's just calm down for a minute, it's very challenging. Right. So that's no worries on there. What worked for us is that we looked at just focusing on the breathing aspect. We done doing the meditation. Like now, it's the same meditation that we did for a few years with people. There's not a visualization on, you know, see yourself in the forest, you know, see the trees. All we doing is saying, you know, as we get off into it, how's your breathing? Are you in through your nose, out through your mouth? Be aware of the air that's coming in. You know, just all we're doing is bringing this back to what's happening right now. Not what we want to happen, not where we want to be. What is actually happening right now? What am I feeling right now? What am I feeling right now? And so with that structure, with that focus for the mind, giving the mind something to do, the left brain something to do. You know, communicating to it. If thoughts come, it's very easy to say, oh shit, what are we thinking about? We way over here. What we supposed to be feeling on the inside? Because there's a reference of all I want to do is just feel myself. I just want to feel myself. I just want to be with myself. I just want to feel. And just to, you know, practice makes perfect. A few times you just sit and just feel what it feels like. Just to, you know, but naturally the thoughts will be less. Because what you're thinking about now is, oh, I feel a little different. Oh, I feel okay, and you just engage in how you feel. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I think it's not about, you know, manifesting nothing. You know, see yourself on the beach, on the island. I mean, all those meditations are wonderful. But we found out from our experience, we don't want to think about nothing except what's happening right now. Where am I? What's in the surroundings? What do I hear? Just right now. And in a nutshell, also, that allows us to again slowly begin to bring our attention back to what are we doing right now. So when we're not meditating, you know, we begin to, and the first level of the boat is the settled and strengthened phase, right? And the settled and strengthened, we're settling our spirit and we're strengthening the relationship between our heart and our mind. Meaning, if we say, I want the mind, I want to just be peace, be still. So the more you just sit here and you say, it's okay. Even just for like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, it was done. Then you may think about something else. You're like, okay, that's cool. We don't want to think about that. Let's come back and we just want to just see how we feel. And that's all I want to do. You say you feel for a few seconds. Then you're off the mind someplace else. But you say, okay, let's come back here for a few seconds. This is game you got going on with yourself, right? And the more you spend time with yourself playing this game, the less the mind is going to move, and the more you're just going to be starting to feel yourself more. Which means that whenever you be engaged in something outside, if you choose to say, okay, don't get concerned with that, let's just focus on this right here, then the mind will tend to obey you because you have put that time in with the mind to practice one-on-one. You know, just one-on-one. Hey, baby, just do it like this, you know. Just like a child. Sometimes the mind like a child. You know, you just have enough patience with the child. You know it's all over the place, but have enough patience with the child. You know, eventually you begin to see the results with it. And so again, our suggestion is don't worry about it. It happens. It's part of it. That's, you know. Everything happens to that. And you know, as we go through, we just find a focal point. You know, a focal point. You know, so I'm saying, like we've heard when you the dancer spin around so many times, it's like their head stays still till their body goes around. Then their head come back around. They back at the point that they saw. You know what I mean? That makes sense. The theory is that's how they don't get dizzy. Because otherwise everything is moving. But if you got this one point, and you come back to it every time, you somewhat tend to be more stable and not.
Right.
Yeah. Same with the mind. The same with, you know, what's that one point? You know, how long can we just think about this now? Put our mind here now. Put our mind there now. And with this meditation that we do is just a relaxing meditation. We just say we're just going to put our mind just on the inside of us right now. Yeah. You just watch the magic happen, you know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. What else? You got anything else?
Nah. I think I'm ready to dive in.
All right, cool. So, there's a formal and informal, of course, I guess. Anything, there's 2 ways. There's always 2 sides to everything, 2 ways to everything. We love creation, but there's always 2. And just to share with you the more official way of meditating, either seated in a chair, upright, you know, stool, chair, no back, seated upright, laying flat on your back, or Indian style or lotus, half lotus position, you know, with your legs crossed on the floor, right? And the idea is, with the formal way of meditating, is that you just want to keep the spine straight, or, you know, more straight than a slouch. Because the theory is, again, with our energy, the so-called 7 chakras that line the spine, there's highly spiritual energy called the Kundalini energy that, if awakened, aroused, it, you know, goes like the serpent of the wings of the Sadducees, the medical symbol got the snakes going up. That's, you know, symbolic of the Kundalini energy rising from the base of the spine, is going up, you know, and as it goes up, it crosses, and boom, comes one at the chakra. Then it comes back out, meets again, the next chakra comes back out, meets the next. So every time it comes back in, it's hitting the chakra. So the theory is, with the spinal line, so-called perfectly aligned spine, and of our chakras is somewhat resonating in a harmonious fashion, then this Kundalini energy rises up. The spine is very orgasmic, spiritual, you know, experiences, you know, very tender. It's very, you know, because it's sex with self. It's like the inner orgasm. I mean, that's a theory of it. I mean, we mess around, we feel some things going on the inside. It's like, ooh, hey, these energies kind of shoot up, and yeah, it's like, wow, it's something to all this. So we can't turn back now. We come too far. We can't turn back now. Yeah. So again, that's one of the reasons why formal meditation is good, because you're facilitating more of the euphoric experience of just feeling this natural light, this kind of, wow, this is You know, I felt it to be stressed, like, man, I'm stressed and tired. And I feel just the opposite. I feel like I don't even have a body. I feel my ass on the chair, but that's about it. Yeah, right. And the idea, we like to say, we keep saying practice makes perfect, because just a few official meditations on a regular basis trains the body. You know, it just simply trains the body, so that over time, 6 months, a year, you know, even just basic, just mindfulness, you will notice a tremendous difference. You know, and the more you decide to work out like a, you know, someone who's in training, we call ourselves a committed metaphysical warrior priest. We throw that warrior in there because we says we train like a warrior. You know, when the sun, we have a tent, we sleep in a tent, so when the sun starts to go down, we go out to the tent and, you know, then we wait for the sun to rise. Oh, it's up. So we get that rest there. We're back there, we just with nature, we're doing our thing. Maybe, you know, watch a video or two back there on YouTube, something that we've, inspiration that we've downloaded. That's how we just like wind down, just winding down, settling in. You know, because we believe that, again, practice makes perfect. By having a lifestyle of just working with the breath, then it sets you up to be just in this cool, just like, okay, take a breath. No, I know what's happening now. I'm not moved, and you can respond instead of react. It is really what it comes down to in a nutshell. Most sensitive, basic level, we're able to respond to any situation in life, no matter what comes our way. Let's take a breath. Let it come to us. Sometimes it could be like, oh, you've gotten the word, just let this go. We're just going, oh, sometimes it's cool. Let's go about this way now. Whatever may happen. Either the peace to let it be, or the instructions to assist with the reharmonization of it. But nonetheless, it comes just from being just. Power of the breath, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, cool. Let's get it in then. We at 47, huh? 11 when the plan comes together. So again, we actually use, we have been using that. We've been sitting up for the most part. I guess we don't need it, so I wouldn't pillow. Nah, we're still good.
You think I could sit down anytime?
Yeah, if you want to
Do it like that?
Yeah, you want to like have a pillow over here?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I've been sitting down all day at my desk job, so.
You can dig it.
Yeah.
And during the formal official, you know, one of the things is, especially if you're seated, you know, Indian style on the floor in a chair, it's kind of easy to kind of look. They say the tip of your nose, you know, it really does something. It kind of keep your eyes are open so you don't go too far off into, you know, never land. But at the same time, they're in a way that there's not so much distraction by the outside around you, right? And so that's the concept there. And with that in mind, as you start this heart chakra meditation song over, let us prepare to go within. Let us find that comfortable place, inside and out. As we begin to just simply focus on our breath, being mindful to breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose. Releasing out through the mouth. simply being mindful about breathing. Mindful of the air as it enters the body. Mindful of the air as it leaves the body. As we simply breathe the air through the nose. Releasing out through the mouth. Thoughts will come. Thoughts will go. That is the nature of thoughts. No need to chase them. Fight them. Silence them. Just let them leave as peaceful as they came. And return our focus back to the breath. As you breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. Being mindful. As you breathe in through the nose, slowly releasing out through the mouth. Wish to be aware of how we feel. Be aware of the calming of our emotions. As we simply breathe. Be aware of the clearing of the mind. As we simply breathe. Be aware physical body being totally relaxed as we simply breathe. Breathing in through the nose while releasing out through the mouth. Relaxing is as simple as breathing. Releasing is as simple as breathing. The power of the breath. Breath of life. Calm the emotions. Bring clarity to the mind. Feeling of peace and relaxation. Physical body. Spiritual insights. Spiritual body. All the power of the breath. Simply being present with the breath. present with the breath. Just being present with God. Simply by breathing in through the nose. Releasing out through the mouth. In through the nose. Releasing out through the mouth. Simple process of relaxation. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Remind the body how to relax. Remind the body how to breathe. Remind the body how to be its most peaceful state. As we simply breathe in through the nose, releasing out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Being mindful of the now. Being mindful of the now. And the ever-eternal present. Where the magic happens. Where creation happens. Where life happens. In the now. We simply breathe now. Breathe slowly. Breathe deeply. Breathe now. In through the nose. Releasing out through the mouth. Relaxing while releasing. Releasing while relaxing. It's all as simple as breathing. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Yeah, yeah, better than all right. This is a beautiful surprise, as they say. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's worked for me too.